Okay, we're going to describe how the central government defined its authority, way too much authority, by describing the Alien Sedition Acts in a news report. Okay, so you know what the Alien Act, and this is not aliens from outer space, but when we mean alien, we're talking about someone from another country. We also consider that an alien, someone from another country outside the United States. Sedition Act, John Adams, authority. Um, so we'll watch this video, but in this class, we'll do that later. Okay, so here's how we're going to start. I'm going to read this to you, the Alien Sedition Act. Please remember, John Adams is now president, not George. He will take over. It says in 1797, an event that some considered a threat to national security occurred, the XYZ affair. As you watch the following video clip about the XYZ affair, determine why the U.S. was angry with France. So you'll watch the video and then fill those in. Okay, here's the big question. How does the U.S. respond to France? As a result of the XYZ affair, John Adams urges Congress to increase the U.S. military. Congress agreed. They voted to recruit 10,000 troops and to build 12 new ships for the Navy. In addition to being angry about the XYZ affair, the Federalists were also not happy with France because of the French Revolution. The French Revolution was particularly bloody. Cheered on by angry mobs, France's revolutionary government began cutting off heads of wealthy nobles. Some 20,000 men, women, and children, that's horrible, were killed. Hamilton and other Federalists were appalled. Many Federalists were themselves very well off, so wealthy people. After hearing about the fate of families in France, they began to get nervous about whether or not something like this could happen in the United States. After the XYZ affair, which is the United States worried that we have French spies in the U.S., and the news of the French Revolution, John Adams and Federalists became angry. Rumors began to fly that France is going to invade the U.S. or send spies. According to Adams and other Federalists, there was an alien foreign influence that was threatening national security. As a result, Federalists in Congress passed 4 controversial laws called the Alien and Sedition Acts. So here's the deal. The United States is scared that France is fixing to do something crazy. And a lot of the people leading the revolution have already done so. So for rich people, they cut their heads off, including their wives and children. That is really crazy. Now, that part is scary. However, just because that's happening in France, doesn't mean it's going to happen in the United States. But boy, are the wealthy government officials scared. So I'm not having you take notes. They are just here. Here are the 4 laws, crazy unconstitutional laws that were actually passed. So that means the president said, John Adams said, these are great laws, and Congress voted, and they actually passed these laws, but they will all go away. Okay. So the first one's called the Naturalization Law or Act. Remember that an act is the same thing as a law. It said extended the time for immigrants had to live in the United States and become citizens from 5 years to 14 years. So now they say if you're an immigrant living here in the U.S., we just changed it. You have to wait now 14 years before we let you become a citizen instead of 5, because now we're kind of scared of immigrants. Then there's the Alien Act. Provided that once war had been declared, all male citizens of an enemy nation could be arrested, detained, or deported. So let's say you are from France, but you've lived in the United States for the past 20 years, and we go to war with France. Just because you used to live in France and you're a male, you can be arrested, detained, which means like just kept in custody, or deported just because you're from France. That's horrible. That's so against your First Amendment rights, so much of your, and that's a horrible, horrible law. The next one is the Alien Enemies Acts. It keeps getting worse. Authorize the president to deport any non-citizen suspected of plotting against the government during either wartime or peacetime. So all they have to do is think that you thought bad thoughts, and you would be deported back to whatever country you came from. So let's say you've lived in the United States for 10 years from another country. You're not a citizen yet, but you've been here 10 years. All they have to do is think that they could, oh, I think you're thinking bad thoughts. Are you thinking bad thoughts? Oh, I bet you are. Boom, gone. Oh my, this is against so much of your due process laws. And then the Sedition Act. This is where you see little jealous John liked this one. Made it illegal to say, write, or publish anything false, scandalous, or malicious about the United States government, Congress, or president. They're so scared that their heads could be cut off that that is a First Amendment violation if I've ever seen one. Oh my gosh. So anyone in the United States, that means like half of America right now, if we had this law, would be like in jail, because people say bad things about the president all the time. It was illegal to say, write, or publish anything about anyone in the government. Obviously, we don't have this law anymore, or like I said, a lot of people would be in jail. So here are your 4 laws. They violate so many of the Bill of Rights, and they will all go away. But they actually did exist for a time in the United States of America. Okay, so now let's fight about the laws. Okay, so go to the next page. So here you have, remember, by this time, the second president, we now have officially have political parties. And our first political parties was the Federalist, and then we changed anti-Federalist to Democratic Republican, okay? So here is what a Federalist says. A Federalist says, I am a loyal Federalist. We needed these laws to ensure the security of this nation. I believe my party is the only truly American party, and the Democrat-Republican Party is an enemy to the Constitution. We need these laws to protect against the French, who want to destroy the United States. These laws are aimed at people that are not Americans and therefore are a threat to national security. We had to get really tough and pass the Sedition Act. This law gives the government the right to arrest Americans who might damage the reputation of our government. We believe that criticism of the government is an attempt to start a rebellion. Our nation demanded these types of laws in order to protect us. I don't care of the what the Republicans think. We don't. Oh, let me reread that. I don't care of the I don't care. That should say, if the Republicans think we don't support the Bill of Rights, we had to do what we think was right. Let me tell you, the Sedition Act is a blunt violation of our First Amendment rights. But the Federalists are trying to say they had to do what was necessary. And in an attempt to start a rebellion, our country was founded on people starting a rebellion. So now all of a sudden we don't think that that's okay. So that's what a Federalist thinks. Here's what a Democrat comes back at them. The Democrat-Republicans say, I'm a loyal Republican, Democrat-Republican. These laws are an outrage. France is not a real threat to the safety of the United States. They're using the XYZ affair and the French Revolution as an excuse to pass these incredibly unjust laws. Federalists are simply worried about staying in power, and these laws are aimed at people that oppose them. The Federalists passed these laws not to protect our nation, but to silence people they consider troublemakers. The Federalists are enemy of the Bill of Rights. The Sedition Act is a threat to our freedom of speech and freedom of press. Federalists are using the Sedition Act to punish Republican newspaper editors who take fun in insulting President Adams. So what if we call him bald and blind and toothless? We should be able to do so according to our First Amendment rights. Okay, so I just read that to you. So you are going to pull out 2 arguments. So why do the Federalists say it's okay to pass the Alien and Sedition Acts? Give me 2 reasons they said what they think they did was okay. Then tell me 2 reasons that the Democrat-Republicans say the Alien and Sedition Acts shouldn't happen. What are 2 reasons they say that they explain why they are against these new laws? Okay, 2 reasons for the Federalists saying they're for these laws, and why the Democrat Republicans say they are against these laws. So take a second and complete that part. Okay, so now that you have these in, go to the very last page. I know I'm kind of going through this really fast, but you'll be okay. So the Alien Sedition Acts, all we're going to do is use our notes to complete the sentence. I'm not asking you to rewrite history. Just go back and use your notes to put it all together. So this is blank, and I'm reporting live from New York. Major decisions have been made about the rumors swirling about France and their possible invasion. The United States government is worried that France will do what? They're worried that France will invade the United States, cut off people's heads, whatever. In order to protect America, Congress just passed many controversial laws. So that sentence is already written for you. The Alien Act. Go back to your notes and just tell me what the alien, you got to look for the Alien Act. What's the Alien Act? Again, we consider aliens people from another country are called aliens. Okay. And then it says the Democrat Republicans think this law. What do the Democrat Republicans think about this law? Okay, so what do they think about the alien? And it doesn't say. It says specifically what they think about the Sedition Act, but what do they think about these laws? They say they're trying to silence troublemakers. They think these are unjust laws. You just literally can go back to their viewpoint and pull out some things they think about these laws. Then it says the Federalists think, well, what do the Federalists think about these laws? I'm going to go up here, and it says, oh, we're securing we're ensuring security of the nation. We need to protect people from people who want to destroy this country. So there's like tons of different answers you could put. Then I go to the Sedition Act. What is it? So go back to your notes, look at what the Sedition Act is, write that down. Then it asked me to put now it does tell you the Democrat Republicans say specifically what they think about the Sedition Act. So you would just put that in there. What do the Federalists think about it? Of course, they think all these are great. And then in the end, these new laws, these new laws are just flat out horrible. You better write something they're bad, they're horrible, they're unjust, they shouldn't be happening, they need to be taken away. End of story. And then for channel New Republic, this is blank signing off. Okay. So you're just going to wrap up today. When you're done with that, that is today. The goal is, do you understand that John Adams was the leader of trying to get these horrible laws passed? They were passed. They're all taken away because they violate the Bill of Rights big time. That is all you need to know with the Alien and Sedition Acts, and that they happened during the early republic. Don't tell me these happened during the American Revolution. Don't tell me it happened during some other era. The Alien Sedition Acts happened during early republic. The first 5 presidents, more specifically, Jealous John, liked these laws.